recorder. New me. New you. New you, Dylan. You're back.
I am.
And we're going to kick this off real quick. But first, some business. BoysPodcast.com. It's a hub of all things boys. There you will find links to our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and more. BoysPodcast.com.
Boys is available on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube. Rate, review, subscribe, donate.
Email us at boys@boyspodcast.com. Feedback equals stickers.
Thank you to our sponsors, Anthem Brewing, maker of high-quality adult beverages. Anthem Brewing. It'll put hair on your chest, or your back, or your balls. Fat Bison. Speaking of fat balls, this guy's got a set of balls on him. You quit your 9-to-5, you start your own company, you carve wood, man, day in and day out. He's a Ron Swanson.
He's carving a name for himself.
I like it. FatBison.com. Lastly, Champion Vintage. It's the championship of vintage, and guess what? They won. They're the champion. Hit me with that website.
Champion Vintage OKC on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook. They had to have a Facebook. They didn't want one, but they have one. They had a great industry flea. If you were out there, thanks for your purchases. Continue. Lastly, thank you, listening, for your donations, your feedback, your love. We love you. We heart you.
You know who we love? We love Zach. Thank you, Zach. This motherfucker gives us a hefty donation every 25 episodes without fail.
Be like Zach.
Thanks, Zach. You rule. You're a boy.
You're officially a boy.
You're one of the boys. Without further ado, episode whatever.
126.
I'm so excited that Dylan's back. I just forgot what episode it was.
I might be wrong.
All right, let's do it. So I went out to my dad's this last weekend.
As one does.
Yeah, on the weekend. It's the weekend dad trip. Drive out to Choctaw, see my old man. He's cooking up some food.
Let me guess. The master of meats was making a brisket.
No.
Dogs.
Nope.
I'm at a loss. Steaks? Burgers?
Nope.
What the fuck is he making?
You're running out of meats.
Dude, Josh.
I'm not a meat eater. I don't know.
Okay, but like...
Pork belly. I don't know. What was he making?
When your dad is barbecuing, man.
Yeah.
If it's not brisket, it's like... It's one other thing. And you're like almost there.
Here, let me give you a hint.
Yeah.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby. You got it, dude.
Your dad made up some ribs?
My dad grilled 3 rack of ribs.
Baby backs?
No, big
Okay.
full backs. Fat backs.
Fat backs.
Big old ribs.
Yeah.
3
heavy hitters.
Huge heavy hitters of the rib meat variety.
Nice.
It was beautiful. We show up, the smoker's just smoking away.
What kind of side you have?
Sides?
Yeah.
Baked potato
Classic.
with the trimmings, the fixins, if you will.
Yeah. Depending on your region of dialect.
My stepmother, she makes these amazing homemade rolls. These homemade yeast rolls.
They just the big ones that stick together.
Yes,
Oh,
and it's just like eating a cloud. It's wonderful.
I love that shit.
Also, smoked corn on the cob. You ever had smoked corn
Hell
on the
yeah,
cob?
I've had some smoked corn on the cob where it's the kernels kind of get blackened a little bit.
Well, it's
Oh,
in
yeah.
the husk.
Yeah.
And then, you rip it apart. Deliciousness, that smoky flavor that I've come to know and love. Good
So you're out in the woods. You're out in nature.
We're out, man. We're outside. It was a beautiful Sunday. The whole family was together, had a great time. It was my sister's birthday.
Happy belated.
Yeah. So we get together and eat. And so Kate and I show up first before my sister, her husband, Jake, my brother. I've got a brother.
That's so weird.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
I've always wanted a brother.
And you got one.
And I got half of one.
That's true.
I got an in-law. So Kate and I are standing there. Kate's daughter Emma's playing out in the yard, having a good time. My dad walks from the smoker over to the fence line there where he keeps his wood. And he, all of a sudden I hear him say, "Rob, come over here." So I go over there and he's pointing at this piece of wood and he's like, "Man, I'm sure glad I turned this over and looked on the underside of this." And I look and he points to the wood and he goes, "That right there is a classic Black Widow."
So wait, could you see it, or was he just pointing at it and you had to look over and
I
see
had
what it
to
was?
bend over and see this Black Widow.
Yeah.
And it was there. I mean, it was a silver dollar size Black Widow.
It's a big boy
It was classic.
or girl. Well, a girl, I guess, 'cause Black Widow.
As soon as those words came out of my dad's mouth,
Mm-hmm.
I looked at Kate and I was just like, "Oh, brother. Like, who says classic Black Widow?
A dad.
It's a Black Widow."
Yeah.
Then Jake and my sister pull up, and Amanda goes inside to take baby Elliot inside.
Mm-hmm.
Jake comes over, and my dad's just excited. He's just like, "Jake, come look at this."
He's just telling everyone about it.
Spreading the gospel.
Of the classic Black Widow.
And he goes, "Jake, look at that. I'm sure glad I turned that piece of wood over and looked at it. Look at that. That right there is a classic Black Widow." And I looked at Kate, and then I looked at Jake, and we were all just like, "Oh boy."
It's a
Fast
thing
forward
now.
about 5 minutes, my sister comes outside. "Amanda, come over here. Look at this. That right there is a classic Black Widow." At this point, it just started to kind of sound absurd.
Your dad is David S. Pumpkinsing this Black Widow. Like, what is it? What
Yeah.
makes it classic?
What? Oh, show me a Black Widow that isn't classic. Like,
Right. Is it purple? Does it have joggers on? Like, what would make it a modern, contemporary Black
I
Widow?
love that. I love that. That right there is a contemporary Black Widow.
This ain't your 1964 Black Widow. This is a brand new, off the lot 2018 Black Widow.
All new, redesigned Black Widow.
No, I don't like the word. Like, classic should describe like a classic car, classic rock. But even that, I think the term classics sounds weird.
Well, what makes something classic?
20
Is it
years.
I thought that's what makes something vintage.
But
Hold
that-
on.
that's
20
classic.
years?
A classic car is something that's 20 years or older.
So
classic rock is 20.
A 1998 Ford Fiesta is a classic
That's a
car
fucking
now.
classic.
A classic piece of shit.
Yeah, my 1998 Kia Optima
Your Daewoo Lanos.
is a classic. That's a classic out in the driveway.
I don't think classic is just a time constraint. I think it's got to stand out to be a classic, right? But then again, all rock recorded before 1998 is classic rock.
No. All rock, guaranteed. Have you listened to the classic rock station recently? They'll play Motley Crue. They'll play Nirvana. When we were kids, like in the 80s, 90s when we grew up. So let's say I was 10 years old in 1992. I distinctly remember driving around in my dad's pickup truck, which became my pickup truck.
Was it classic?
It was no, not yet. It was in 83.
Okay.
So it was.
So at the time it wasn't classic.
was
Now
not
it's classic. Okay. good
We're
to know.
listening to the classic rock station. Led Zeppelin's playing. And when would you wager to guess that, let's say, Led Zeppelin 3 came out?
I'm going to guess like 1974.
Great. So by 1992, well, no, I guess it wouldn't technically be classic, but it played on the classic rock station. I do believe the term classic.
Oh, hold on.
1970. So great. So
We got a classic.
So we got a classic on our
Thanks,
hands.
Dylan.
So yeah, I do believe the term classic means 20 years or older.
This Black Widow was not 20 years old.
No, Black Widows don't live to be that old. If anything, this was a standard. This is your standard Black Widow.
Your standard edition, your LE.
Yeah.
Your Black Widow LE.
Yeah, this isn't the luxury. This isn't the S type. This is your just standard
Standard Black Widow.
standard Black Widow.
So Webster's dictionary says classic, judged over a period of time to be the highest quality of and outstanding of its kind.
But it says
So-
a period of time. But
but it also has to be of the highest quality.
Really?
So like a Ford Fiesta
is not classic. Will never be classic.
Yeah, it's just
but wait,
old.
like a '78 Chevy Nova is considered a classic.
Yeah,
but
'cause
That's a badass
it's a
fucking
Nova.
car.
I guess so.
No, the Nova was in like movies, and it was like the car.
Now
of
keep
the movie.
scrolling down.
Exactly.
Keep on this classic. But it says period of time. I'm guaranteeing you. Write us at
Cockcast?
podcast.
Whoa.
I got cock on the brain. It's got to be
What else is
20
there?
years.
Well, right here, number 2, remarkably and instructively typical. So
Okay, that
something
would
can be
be-
typical and classic.
Well, by that definition, that Black Widow
Was
it
classic.
That's a crisscross
Your typical-
definition then. 'Cause
Yeah.
if it's typical,
It's
Is
classic.
it of the highest quality?
Speaking of classic in 20 years, Crisscross, the hip hop group, that's classic. Jump, jump,
Classic children's rap.
classic. Your classic underage hip hop.
Classic Dead.
One of them is
Well, so is it just Chris now?
now playing at Riverwind, not even Riverwind, Newcastle Casino. Chris,
Now playing at Windstar Cross. Which one died? Chris or Cross?
I believe Chris died. Now it's just Cross. Of Chris Cross, Cross.
Oh, Cross of Chris Cross.
So when the other person is rapping, is it just quiet and then he just jumps in with ha?
It's a hologram, dude. It's a classic hologram.
Classic hologram. So classic's one of those terms that are on my outdated terms list. The word ditto is one. Now, I'm not talking about I agree, like ditto, like in the movie Ghost, when she says I love you and he says ditto.
Ditto.
Yeah. I'm talking about ditto meaning a form of paper,
A copy.
a copy, a ditto.
Yeah.
That's a word you don't fucking hear anymore.
Do you remember the old Ditto machines that were like a big wheel that you would turn and the print on them was purple? And it
Yeah.
would kick it out?
Yeah.
You know that scene in Fast Times where all the kids smell the paper? Mm-hmm. Those were Dittos.
Yeah,
back
because you
then.
get high.
Yeah, because the ink had like psychoactive ingredients in it or something like that.
Yeah.
Just dope.
Yeah. Can you think of any more like terms you just don't hear anymore? Or overused terms?
Oh, I can think of a million of those.
Yeah.
Like Rob is cool. Rob
Yeah.
is the greatest.
Mine is a new one. It's
Rob has a big penis.
It's weak. I'm so sick of seeing Instagram posts of like, I'm weak. Are ya? I don't fucking care. Why? What makes you weak? Are you weak from, I can't take it. I'm so weak. What is that?
Oh, at first I didn't know what you meant.
Let's take a young person's perspective here.
The Youngman's perspective.
Young man's perspective.
I don't really understand. Like what?
Like,
Like
you know,
when-
in
like
the
if
concept
they-
of like
if
a GIF or a meme, it's like a dude throws a hamburger at a kid and the kid falls over and I'm weak because I'm laughing so hard.
Yeah.
I'm weak AF.
Is it like if somebody posted a picture of like some brand new Nikes
Weak.
and it was like weak? I'm
No, no,
weak
no,
because
no.
I want those so bad?
No. Weak means it's usually the cry face emoji. I'm weak.
Gotcha.
And
From laughing so hard.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's fucking stupid.
why?
I think it's a word that doesn't mean what it. The definition of weak doesn't mean you're laughing so hard or I'm dead. That's a big one.
Dead, yeah. The thing with modern technology and culture are things become part of the lexicon so fast. Like here's a new one. Here's a new one I've just seen in the last couple days. Maybe less than a week. Odd flex, but okay.
I love those. I just saw one the other day where it's like this dude standing in his like foyer of his house and he's got a giraffe and someone was like, odd flex, but okay.
Like he's got a live giraffe.
Yeah, he bought a giraffe.
Okay.
Like that's his giraffe.
Okay, so-
like he spent the money to buy a giraffe, not a boat, not a big house. He has a big house,
Not a
but-
bitchin' car.
No, he bought a giraffe.
Yeah. So odd flex means like that's a weird choice for spending your money, but cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
I've seen it.
flex, flex is like I'm sure you
flexing.
guys know what
Yeah.
flex
Yeah,
is.
like you're
right.
flaunting.
Yeah, just like, yo, I bought this. I got my Rari. Flexing on you, like. But this dude bought a giraffe.
But it comes and goes so fast.
We're
and like,
doomed.
Well, I really I want to get out of the habit of automatically hating anything new, anything that isn't classic.
Yeah.
Any new term or new thing, any new meme, the old man in me comes out
Yeah.
and like shakes my fist at the cloud, and I'm like, kids.
No, I feel that way when I start saying things. When I scroll through it and I go, that is so fucking stupid. But here's the thing: we are old. I am 36 years old. I am an old man. When I was 18, if you showed me a 36-year-old, I'd be like, that's an out of touch old person.
No, you would have been like, fucking dad.
Dad.
Yeah, we're dads.
But I don't feel like I'm a dad. But I am a dad because I'm saying kids these days, their music doesn't make any sense to me. It's stupid. It's not talented. Same shit that old people told us when we were kids. We call that music? That just sounds like 3 chords are just distorted. That ain't music.
Dude, speaking of new music, real quick, got to get a quick plug out there
Oh, yeah?
for one of my favorite bands, Krungbin.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, it's the 3-piece with the weird bangs.
Oh, yes,
and the,
I have. I
and
love
the
them.
instrumental.
Okay.
Yeah,
I always forget what the name
With the
of their
Prince
band
Valiant
is.
wigs?
yeah, super dope. They put out a cover today, and it's going to be on a 7-inch, and it's "Christmas Time Is Here" from the Charlie Brown Christmas album.
Odd flex. No.
But okay, okay by me.
flex, but okay.
It's so dope. Go give it a listen. It's
Yeah.
on YouTube. Killer band.
You know,
It's beautiful.
I heard that those weren't wigs, but I didn't. I straight up, somebody was just like, they were talking about how
It's part of
crazy
it,
their
yeah.
hair is, and I was like, you know, that's a wig, right? And they're like, no, it's not.
That they
and I
verified
stood my
100%.
ground just because you told me that it was a wig. I was like, no, it's a wig 100%. And they're like, yeah, but you always see him with it. I'm like, yeah, that's the point.
It's-
yeah,
it's
you,
the-
you also
it's part
saw
of the costume,
Kiss
the
without
image.
their makeup until the 80s or
Yeah.
whatever.
I
You
was just
also
like-
only see Wes Borland on
Thanks,
stage
bro.
in full fucking regalia.
Yeah.
That's not what he fucking looks like. Guar. Do you think they're just tall monsters walking around? No,
Right.
they're 50-year-old fucking people in Halloween costumes.
Yeah, man.
I stood to my gun, stuck to my gun so hard, and I name dropped you like he knew who you were. I was like, Robbie said that they're wigs, and
Dude, that's such a little kid thing
I
to do.
know, I know.
Nuh-uh. Jake C said that it's real.
But I feel like if Robbie tells you the way that he talks about certain things is like, if Robbie tells you something is the way that it is, it probably is, because he does a bunch of
Also,
research.
you look at a
about it.
picture of these
I'm
artists.
a loser. What can I say?
You look at a picture of these artists, and it's so clearly a wig.
Yeah.
Does this person also think that Donald Trump's hair is totally natch?
No, that's what's weird. Is like, this guy, like, he's a cool dude. I got to know him really well, and like, I like him a lot, and I respect his opinions on almost everything.
Yeah.
Until he said that these weren't wigs, and I was like, boy,
That's ridiculous.
You fucking idiot.
cutting it off now. We're
You
not
don't know
friends anymore.
anything.
So, and another term that you don't see anymore, it's a descriptor for a size. I'm at an odd size of clothing. I wear like a 29-inch way. Like, it's me and a friend at work. We're both short guys, so you can't find. They don't sell like 28 length pants. I would buy them. I have really short legs. When I was a young man, I wasn't big enough to wear men's clothes, but I was too big to wear kids' clothes.
Too big around.
There was a size that nowadays with fat shaming and everything, I get why it doesn't exist. What the size was on the pants, husky.
Oh,
I wore a size 14 husky as like a 10-year-old kid. Can you imagine? Like going to a store, being like, I can't fit those kids' pants, but I wear husky.
Yeah.
A nice way of saying you're a fat fuck.
husky. It's so interesting. I never wore husky clothes growing up. Probably could now. Maybe. I don't know. But I always thought it sounded like wolf,
Like a dog, like a husky, yeah, like a dog.
Yeah, like a Siberian husky.
Yeah.
Which I guess is kind of a fat dog, right?
It's a big dog.
It's a big dog.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
It's
never.
not fat.
They're just
It's
huge.
just big.
They're just big
They're big
dogs,
boned.
yeah.
Like I
Okay.
told my friends, I'm not fat. I'm just a bigger boned guy. I'm wide set.
I'm not fat. I'm just hungry a lot.
True.
Can
I have
never be
I have an
fulfilled.
overactive appetite.
Did you eat a lot when you were a kid?
Well, yeah.
How'd you
I
get to be husky?
As discussed, I got to be husky because my house was filled to. It was brimming with snacks, all the time. Name a snack, it was in my house.
Entenmann's Donuts.
Totally there.
Swiss rolls.
My favorite was the Swiss roll because they came in. It was a 2-pack. You open it up and you're like a Twix. You're supposed to share. Fuck that. I'm eating both of these shits now.
Did you ever peel the outer layer off the Swiss roll to just expose the spongy cake-like innards?
And I would eat the chocolate off the outer layer. Yeah.
Or with the pecan spin wheels, you'd unroll them like bubble tape.
See, I wouldn't eat that. I was more of a chocolate snack. I wasn't a fan of anything savory like pecan sandies, none of that kind of shit. Chocolate all the way.
All right.
That's all.
Well, speaking of treats, speaking of tricks, speaking of dressing up,
It's the Halloween season.
dude, it is here.
Dude, I had the thought to a person we work with. I was like, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend?" "Oh, I'm gonna go out of town for Halloween." I'm like, "Oh fuck, it's here." I'm not even ready. I don't have a costume. I haven't bought candy for the kids. I got to do something. But I'm ready for it.
What are you doing? What are your Halloween plans this year?
Moving into my new house. I mean, Halloween falls on a Tuesday this year. I'm pretty sure.
I believe so.
But you always do the Halloween party the weekend before.
Wednesday.
I'm bartending this weekend. We're doing a Halloween. So when this episode drops, the NIMS are doing a show, and it's a Halloween costume show. They're doing a costume contest. And the Saturday night, it's Ryan Drake Dance Party Halloween themed. So that'll be crazy. I believe I've agreed to dress up as one of the Beastie Boys from the Fight for Your Right to Party video.
Fair
So
enough.
I get to do that.
Pretty easy costume to put together.
Yeah, I'm just wearing an A shirt. I will not say the WB word.
Right.
A leather bomber jacket and some fucking jeans.
Easy.
Easy peasy done.
You need some feelers?
Maybe.
Perhaps a clock to wear around your neck?
Maybe. I got some ponies. Did pony exist? Would that be a classic shoe? Would an Adidas shell toe be considered a classic shoe?
I think by now, yeah, because
Yeah.
those were around in the 80s.
Yeah.
So
I
They're
just
big.
can't
Run
bring
DMC.
myself to say that they're the highest quality, though.
right, yeah, they're not the best.
The Jordan is a classic.
Classic basketball shoe might be the classic basketball shoe, but that's the thing is it stands out from the
Sure.
rest. You know,
Right.
It's not some Attack Force or whatever
Well,
those shitty ones
hey,
were called back.
I had a pair of Attack
I bet
Force
you did,
those.
Husky.
I had a pair of Voigts, some I had really
Spaldings.
anything
Yep.
you can get at the Payless. See, my mom would drop a pretty penny on snacks and treats for the house, but when it came to footwear and clothing, it was secondhand or Payless.
Because you were wearing them out.
Being a fat
They're
kid,
breaking down real quick.
Yeah.
You know what? Now that I look this up, I feel like probably the most classic shoe is the Nike Air Force One, because everyone knows what that shoe looks like, or the Jordan one.
Everyone's owned a pair of Air Force Ones at
Right.
one point.
And there's a song about it.
Yeah.
A great song about it.
Oh, by the artist Nelly?
Yeah. By now it might be a classic song about
I bet
it.
it's a classic.
And you know what? Vans too. Like,
Are we talking
Vans-
like the Spicoli slip-on?
yeah, because I mean, like, people were, in skateboard competitions in like the 70s, repping the fuck out of
I think
Vans.
hands down the most iconic classic shoe is the Converse Chuck Taylor.
Yeah,
That's pretty
The
classic.
first sneaker,
yeah.
and it's to this day, it's my go-to just because it goes with everything. Mm-hmm. It's a real classic shoe.
I think it's cool what they're doing now, where you can customize your own Chuck Taylors.
Oh, for sure.
They're very cool.
And almost every shoe company does that now.
Yeah.
Chuck Taylor started it, and now everyone does it. You can customize.
Well, I
your
don't
own
know.
shoe.
I think Nike started it. You could
Well, Nike
customize
owns
shoes.
Chuck Taylor.
Right, but
Oh.
you could customize your own pair of Nikes.
the
like
Nike ID.
10 years ago. Yeah.
Dope. I've always wanted to do that. Never pulled the trigger.
Have you ever done that? Got on the website and like you make your own custom shoe. Like, oh, that looks really cool. What's that price? Never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, $400.
But yeah, exactly.
I'm good.
Yeah. No.
But I'm gonna
let's
put
go
it in
with
the
the
cart.
Spaldings.
I might come back later.
Might
You
come
never do.
back, see what's up.
What are you
Never
doing
do.
for Halloween, Dylan?
I'm gonna be in Chicago. I have a travel credit from straight up 1 year ago that expires November 3rd.
What airline you flying on?
Southwest.
The best.
And yeah, I'm
That's
gonna
a classic airline.
classic airline. But yeah, I think, and I've been wondering like what costume I want to wear, because I don't feel like I don't look like anyone. But I just had a thought, and I don't know if I'll do it. It seems fun because I just finished the book. I think it'd be fun to do a gender bender costume where I go as Carrie, which would be
Dude.
fun. I got the blonde hair. I'm kind of chunky, so I can just get a girl's prom dress to the best of my
Go
abilities.
to any
I
thrift
guess.
store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gallon of fake blood?
Yeah, and just
You're
pour it
golden.
directly on my body,
That
and
is-
then go and see some shows.
Gender bender costumes are always my favorite. It's like I would wear dresses just for fun to kind of like when
Yeah.
you're a teenager you do it to like I want to make people feel uncomfortable, so I'm going to wear this dress.
Yeah.
Because it's just kind of fun to dress up.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, I was thinking about going as Casey Anthony this year.
Yeah.
Yes, you should totally
With a toddler with tape over its mouth and
Yeah.
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 You know she's ready to have another kid.
I always thought she was hot. Is that weird?
She
No,
was hot.
everybody did.
Right? The picture of her with the cigar hanging out of her mouth and she's like got like a mixed drink in
All
her
her
hand.
party. Yeah, she was a hot mom.
Yeah.
That's why she killed her kid. She wanted to keep partying. She was hot.
The worst though.
Yeah, she was the worst. She was a pretty bad mom.
That is some repugnant shit, to be honest. And I'll tell you what, one reason I don't watch a lot of horror movies or like listen to a lot of like true crime podcasts or like let that stuff take up space in my brain
Yeah.
is because I feel like deep down, and I'm probably wrong. I hope that I'm wrong.
That you want to murder a kid.
No,
Okay.
no.
I
no,
hope you
no.
weren't going there, Robbie.
Whoa.
No, that maybe my mind is so fragile that if I were to let that take up a lot of real estate in my mind, that I might kill someone.
You think so?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I'm not letting myself get there.
I'm intrigued by true crime stuff, but sometimes like the casing, it's when an obvious killer goes free. Like, okay, so I just finished a podcast where they talked about the West Memphis 3.
Dude, that was such a good
And
series.
Just, I mean, we all know the story of the West Memphis 3. They, but just the fact that the person who actually brutally murdered those kids is either dead now or just got away with it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, okay, great that they got out. That's great. Now can we find the person who brutally murdered 3 8-year-old children?
It won't happen.
No.
Just the way that Alabama closed that case. It will, Arkansas.
Yeah.
It will never happen.
And the Casey Anthony thing, she got away with it. I mean, I guess you can say innocent until proven guilty, but she obviously killed the kid. O.J. Simpson obviously almost cut his goddamn wife's head off. But
tried his hardest. Really did.
It's either the unsolved cases, the cold cases, or the ones that were acquitted that really, it gets under my skin of like, where's justice? You know what I mean? And then it makes you think about the ones you don't even hear. Those are just like high profile ones. Every day, I would assume, I'm going to go ahead and say hundreds of murders happen a day.
Well, yeah.
And we don't
Easily.
even know about it. And that's human life being just snuffed out. So if you think about it and you start going down the rabbit hole or in your brain of thinking about that, yeah, it can make you kind of like,
Yeah. Well, like for instance, season 2 of Making a Murderer is out now,
have not started it yet.
which, I did watch season 1. It was all the rage. The holidays a couple years ago, around the holidays. And I watched it. And the whole time I'm watching it, I'm just thinking, if this waterhead can get away with it, I could. Like,
Yeah.
getting away with murdering someone and then framing someone else,
Well, see, that's another one. That's where my mind went when I was thinking about the West Memphis 3, thinking about the Making a Murderer, like the Brendan Dassey. Like, it's the same. They did the same tactics. What they did in the West Memphis 3 was they took the slow one, who clearly had mental issues, didn't know what a lawyer was. He didn't know what he was dumb. He's a dumb person. He was
challenged.
He didn't know how Satan was spelled.
Yes. Satin.
Classic Satan misspelling right there.
Yeah.
Satin.
Satin.
Love it.
Yeah, he asked his lawyer who Satan was.
Yeah.
And he was like,
When he's on trial for being a Satin worshiper.
yeah.
So there's that, but the Brendan Dassey's the same thing. You separate him, you force a confession out of him, and then that's your end to get this other person. Which I'm not saying the other guy didn't do it. It's still up for debate.
Right.
But the challenged kid, Brendan, should be exonerated for being challenged. It's kind of fucked up that the system goes that way. They're so caught up in being right and finding their man.
Are you saying even if he's guilty,
No.
he should be?
If
Okay.
he's guilty, you shouldn't.
Okay.
But the forced confession, all that, should be looked into more. I think there was the West Memphis 3 thing too. Like, they wanted so badly they wanted it to be evil. They wanted to have a spiritual, like, it was satanic panic. They wanted to defeat the devil so badly that despite evidence to the contrary, they put these 3 kids, they were kids, on trial for a murder that they most likely then didn't commit. They had no evidence to put them there. They doing the same thing with the Brendan Dassey thing. Now the uncle, on the other hand, evidence points a little bit there. But I'm not going to go there. I'm just saying it's fucked up that we do that. It's
like
scary.
Small town justice. I mean, not to say that it doesn't happen in like big cities, but I mean, we've got such a small community, and you have your black sheep.
Right.
You could be anybody and kill anyone in a town that the population is like 2,000.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know someone that the police don't like, all you have to do
Or someone
is
that
put
fits
that
the
body
description.
there, you know, and then the police will find a way to
Spin
point it to them just because it's an easy case. They're like, oh, well, clearly this person that no one likes did it.
Right.
And we can find a way to do it. And not all police do that, obviously. But in the case of, making a murderer, or in the case of the West Memphis 3, it's just like, if you're a police officer, like, everything you say holds so much weight, especially against two 17-year-olds and an 18-year-old,
Right.
who, like, wear black and, just, like, fuck with kids because they fucking had to. Like, what was his name? Damien was dirt poor, living in a shack in the middle of fucking
They were all
a
poor.
cornfield.
They were all dirt poor, yeah.
But Damien was the, like, worst off. And, like, yeah, he wore a bunch of black and freaked out a bunch of kids so that he wasn't picked on for being a nerdy poor kid.
You
know?
create an identity, like
Yeah.
that's what being a teenager is. Either you get in this niche of friends where you have a group and it's you're into sports or you're into this, you're into that. There's cliques, and if you don't have one, you make one internally. Like we talked a couple episodes ago about the goth at our school. Like he was a one-man army. Like I never saw him with the crew. It was just him.
Loner. A real loner.
And that's what they were. Like, but you can't single them out. Like I didn't think that the goth kid at our school would murder anybody. You could see through. You knew that it was okay, I get it. You're playing the part of the goth kid.
Yeah.
Cool.
You're wearing the costume.
It's Halloween every day for you. And I kind of, in a way, envied that and kind of wish I could do that. Like, I want to be a character. And I guess in a way, that's kind of why I looked into punk rock. If you think about it, it's all theatrics. Punk rock, like the Rancid, Liberty Spike, like that's a fucking costume.
It's a costume.
You're wearing a costume.
Totally.
But it's fun, like wearing a dress and being carried. It's fun to dress up. It's fun to do it, And I think a lot of those things like start from like there's widespread urban legends, but there's local stuff like the West Memphis 3. Like, did you hear that? I heard that they do seances in the woods, and I hear that they kill animals and for the devil, and that's how all that shit starts. It kind of
dude, but that is so true.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, there were urban legends in my high school.
Yeah.
I remember being in junior high, and there was a weird church right down the street from our junior high. And word got around in my group of friends and, in my class, basically, that was a satanic church. Mm-hmm. So we went after school one day and trespassed and, like, basically broke into this church.
Yeah.
And looked around. And we get in and there's Bibles in there and stuff. And of
Yeah.
course it's not a satanic church less
Right.
than 20 yards from a school.
Yeah.
But there was another one. There was the Purple Church.
right, which was in the woods, right?
Which was in the woods. And like I had an experience there. I think I've shared it before on the show.
That sounds dope. I've never heard this story. That sounds rad.
The Purple Church was a big one. That's the one that kind of got around. I thought it was the big Choctaw thing, but apparently a lot of other districts like knew about it.
There's a documentary on YouTube about it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And I went there. I'm just going to tell the story again.
Tell it again.
It's Halloween. So we all talk about going to the Purple Church. And so there's four of us. There's me, my buddy Duncan, there's a girl named Crystal, and there's a girl named Amanda. And I was kind of sweet on Crystal. Duncan was kind of sweet on Amanda.
Were you going to like put moves like?
I mean, we weren't going to rape the women.
No,
we
but
were like, yeah, I might get a
do
little
something
tit,
spooky,
a little
like,
scared tit.
You
Why
weren't
not?
you weren't afraid, like this is just some dumb thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like we were the tough guys that were going to take the girls out there and we were going to protect them.
Yeah.
So we're driving down the road. As you get closer to the Purple Church, you're on a gravel road. Picture this. Classic gravel road. Classic moon up in the sky. As you get closer, the trees start making a canopy over the road.
Classic tree canopy.
Yeah.
Classic canopy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real spooky. Then we see something up in the road on the right as we're getting really close to the entrance of this place. Duncan pulls over his SUV, a small little Blazer SUV. We get out. We have flashlights. We walk up to this thing, and it's a dead goat that had been gutted, and its eyes had been gouged out. And oddly enough, its asshole was severely mutilated.
His asshole was?
Yeah.
That's brutal.
metal, right?
Yeah, that's metal as fuck.
Yeah. And so that's like, we're like, oh shit, that's really scary.
Yeah.
Like, did somebody sacrifice this goat? What was it used for? Was it used for sexual pleasure? You know, was it ripped apart by dogs? Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe huskies? I don't know.
I don't really know if animals mutilate assholes.
And then
though.
butt
No,
fuck.
no, but that's actually the first place they go. Like, not to go back to the West Memphis Zoo thing, but that they found all these claw marks on it they thought was a knife, but it turns out if you, it's kind of morbid, but if you leave a body out, we think we anthropomorphize animals that they're just cute. No,
Yeah.
they will fucking devour you instantly, and that's probably what it was. An animal just, it was a goat that died, and they just ripped it to shreds, and all the stuff is a head.
But normally it's like animals go for like
Fleshy
the
parts.
lips or like
Fleshy parts.
the nose or like the genitals and stuff like that. But like straight up the asshole.
Oh,
Like
you've never heard that? I've always said, no, eat your asshole first. I'm like, oh, that's the worst way to go.
Oh, yes.
Alive?
That'd be the last thing I'd eat on a dead animal.
Yeah.
Right?
But on a human,
Eh,
give me a knife and a fork.
very much alive. So we get back in the car. We drive closer to the Purple Church. We get out. We walk through this field. It's dude, I don't like scaries.
So it's dark, right?
Completely dark. Big old moon in the
No
sky.
light, no land. You didn't get
We had flashlights, but they were shitty.
shitty like Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like those ones that took the big weird batteries.
Yeah.
you guys had flashlights like what 16 and 17-year-old kids can get their hands on.
Yes.
You don't have the
Those
fucking
plastic
the flashlights you have at your house that you own now.
No.
Like, no. You have the shitters that your dad puts in the garage. He has his somewhere else.
The
but
ones that only
yeah,
illuminate
exactly.
like 3 feet in front of you.
Yeah.
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 they're plastic. If you drop them, they shatter.
Yeah.
It was the
Yeah.
old school kind that you drop that big box battery in and you
Oh.
screw
A classic
on,
flashlight.
You screw on the front and,
Yeah.
and it emits this most wonderful luminous yellow light for some reason.
Yeah.
Total shitter. So we walk out, we're getting closer and closer. It starts getting real spooky. The wind starts howling. So we show up and the Purple Church is just a foundation with a couple of walls and beer cans everywhere.
That makes it
and
scarier,
cigarette
though.
butts. So it was a place for bad kids to go be bad.
Smoke cigarettes.
There was like a pentagram spray painted on the ground. You know, there was like just words on the walls. You know, it just looked like a squat basically.
yeah, a Hesher hangout.
But I was fucking scared. Like, I don't like scary movies to this day. I've never been in a real haunted house. Like, I don't do that shit. I was scared to death, but then I had to put it on, you know?
Yeah.
I had this girl I was kind of into back then. Never went anywhere, but...
You
So-
don't look like a pussy.
Right.
The girl, yeah.
Yeah, classic pussy, you know? Let's name the episode that. So I had enough. I'm ready to go. You know, we're out there, we're hanging out. I think Duncan was smoking a cigarette, perhaps. So we head back, and we start hearing this rumbling, this like rustling, if you will. We turn around, and behind us, about maybe 30 feet, was the most giant white horse I've ever seen. I mean, massive horse.
What? Well, okay. What color was the goat?
The goat was black.
So you see a black goat
There's some
with its
symbolism
eyes
here.
gouged out, entrails taken out, and fucked up asshole, and then you just see a white horse pop out of some bushes.
Now, hold on.
No, all that symbolism, I would be like, oh nope,
Yeah,
we're
okay,
good.
so-
I was about to shit myself.
I know
Yeah.
it's dark and you had shitter flashlights. Was it a pristine white horse or was it kind of dirty like it's been
No,
outside
it was a pristine, massive, muscular bright white
a while?
horse.
So okay, was
And it's running right towards us.
were there any houses around?
No.
Weird.
Yeah.
And this is in Choctaw.
It's kind of like on the outskirts.
So were there like farmers that lived around?
There are houses around, but like it was so dark we couldn't really see anything. We just saw like a field and trees and stuff.
Right.
Then all of a sudden we hear a shotgun go like rack. And I'm talking like loud, like it was right behind us. But there's nobody around.
What?
At that point we just start running.
Dude,
back for
I
the
would
car.
have.
I was like, "Fuck
shit,
these
and-
bitches!" I'm getting back in the car. Yeah, I was no longer Macho Man.
No,
We get in.
chivalry is dead at
We're
that
all
point.
better it than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we get in the car. We're all freaking out and screaming. Duncan slams on the gas. We get the fuck out of there. We get back to school the next Monday, and we tell everybody, and nobody believed us.
No.
We were all big fat liars.
No, that's
Yeah.
it's there's just too much. It's a perfect tale. It's a really good story to tell in the dark. But it's too good to be true. You know, the goat, the horse. Did the horse have a saddle on it?
No.
Okay, 'cause my thought immediately goes to my debunker is like, well, maybe you're on somebody's land and he rode a horse out and
Right.
he wanted to get scary off his property. But then again, why would he have this fucking thing there, the structure with?
Yeah. That kids are just like hanging out smoking
Nah,
cigarettes
dude,
and
you
weed.
had an
Like,
experience with the darker side.
Or, did my young mind just play tricks on me that night? Was it really a big horse?
What
I feel
else
like-
could it be?
Did I mutilate the asshole? I don't know. It's a crazy world we're living in.
I feel like situations like that, it's just funner to believe.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly
yeah.
what you
I'm
saw.
going with it, dude.
Yeah,
I've
like-
told this story many times.
Yeah.
Just like I'd be looking up fucking white horses and ranchers in Choctaw and
Yeah.
like I would love that sort of experience now, just like, all right, let me dig into this thing that I 100% believe happened to me.
Yeah, and
Because I'm not a fucking square.
But but here's the thing. But that's what makes it more fun. It's just to believe that happened. But the beauty of technology today is now you can go on any there's probably subreddit forums of, dude, I had that same experience. But then once you have a shared experience with someone, it's like, okay, maybe it was real, and just keep going down. It's just fun to keep it going and perpetuate it. But it can get to the point of conspiracy theory, flat Earth, where you're like, no, I fucking saw it, and here's what it really was, man. What it really was is it was the government. They're in cahoots with the devil, but the devil is an interdimensional being.
Well, have
You can
either
go up done that shit.
True. Have either of you ever had like a paranormal experience or something that people did not believe you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My whole life growing up until I stopped hanging out with a certain person. Yeah, I mean, his house was on the first time I ever recorded with boys.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I told you guys all of that stuff.
tail,
Like,
that's right.
It's just like he had a haunted house, and I saw shit almost every
Dude,
weekend for like 4 years.
I will not.
much.
I
Too
will
much,
not. I will not tell anyone their paranormal tale is a lie or that doesn't happen. Like, I'm open. I'm not a skeptic. I'm not a full-fledged believer. Like saying no, it's real. If anything, it's your brain can make you think and see. You just believe it.
Yeah.
If anything, I think that's more creepy than anything else. That you can you can trick yourself into seeing things.
Will it into existence.
It's so, like auditory hallucinations and shit.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so there's a few local ones. Okay, so Crybaby Bridge is one that I think it's near the Edmond area. What would you call the frontier city area?
I mean, just North Oklahoma City.
North
Yeah.
OKC. There's a bridge that you kind of drive over, and there's a urban legend that there was a mother who died or was hung over there's many different versions of the story. One was she got in a wreck, the car went over the embankment, and she died with the baby. The other one was that she hung herself with the baby, and at nighttime, when it's real dark and real late, you can hear a baby crying underneath the bridge. So we would go out there and we would
Sick.
do it, but your brain will make you think that you're hearing a baby.
Right.
It's really weird. There's tons of stuff like that.
Now that we have this super portable recorder, we should go there.
Let's go. We should. Well,
Yeah. Y'all go ahead.
well, there was one night we went. Me and some friends went out there, and we didn't hear anything. It's like, fuck it. But it's in the middle of nowhere. So we're driving down this road, and it's one of those places like there's a house, and then maybe half a mile later there's another house.
Classic country road.
Classic country road, and it's dark as fuck. We're driving down this road, and the headlights are up, and we can kind of see a shadow of a person walking towards us. Like, what the fuck is that? As we get closer, we realize it's an older lady in a nightgown and no shoes, and she's just walking towards us. It's like 2 a.m. She's walking towards us.
You drove forward, right?
Yeah, we keep driving. We pass, and I'm like, you guys saw that, right? Like, yeah. I'm like, that's fucking creepy. And so we stop the car and we turn around to go check it out, and it wasn't like, again, there's nothing around. We turn around and go back down, and it's not there.
Yeah, dude.
Now,
That's
here's the thing.
Cool.
And
You're loving this shit. I'm
I
over here
love
scared.
this shit so much. Dude.
I tried so much. I mean, like, no, she probably lives over here. And I keep going.
Yeah, where?
Why would she be in a nightgown at 2 a.m? There's no fucking houses around here. She's not wearing shoes.
Yeah, what does she walk barefoot, fucking cross country
Dude,
to creep you out on a motherfucking bridge?
Yeah, and to where? Where's she going?
Where are you going? And where did she go to? She was just there. We literally turned around and came back. It wasn't 15 seconds, 20 seconds later.
Yeah, dude.
And she's gone.
Yeah.
It creeped me. To this day, I think about that and I go, I still gotta. No, it was. I was probably just seeing things, but everyone in the car saw it.
The stuff that we can't explain is amazing, and the fact that your brain, because like when you think about it, right? So we are animals, right? First and foremost. So when you believe that there is like danger around you, which you guys like went in thinking like, this is Crybaby Bridge, we're going to hear a fucking baby crying.
Or even if you're just like drinking or smoking weed, you're like, yeah, we're gonna go check this out. It's dumb.
Yeah, but like your mind is set on what it's going to hear. But the beauty of your story is you didn't hear shit. You fucking saw a person.
Yeah.
And then
we left that saying,
Yeah.
yeah, this is lame.
Yeah.
And saw something else entirely.
Yeah, and but like your whole body is so like in tune to your surroundings that it would be super easy for you to hear something or maybe see something off in the distance.
You
you saw a
heighten your
person
senses.
standing in front of your car with a
She was on the side of the road. She was like, it's like she was walking somewhere. Yeah.
and then you all saw that, and then it just wasn't there 15 seconds later. Like
Collectively.
Yeah.
Collectively, not just. That's why as soon as I saw it, I was like, are you guys seeing that? Because I don't want to be like, am I seeing things and like making shit up, or am I seeing? But it was clear as day, a person.
Yeah.
Walking there. Well, I'm glad you said that. My wife and I celebrated our anniversary a week or so ago, and we went camping. Odd time to go camping. It's off season. No one's there. We get there. We set up camp. The sun's still out. Like, I want to set up camp. We'll get some shit ready. And then the sun goes down, and it's dark as fuck. And there's no one there at all. We are the only people there. You do not know darkness until you are you are southeast Oklahoma in the middle of nowhere.
Like, no light pollution.
It's a state park, so we were kind of safe.
Safe-ish.
But like you said, man, if you even have the inkling of a thought that you're in danger, so the whole time I'm thinking like, okay, it's dark, we're out here, got a fire going, and I'm trying to play it cool, but the whole time my mind is going, what if there's a murder out here? Great, it'd be a great place to kill somebody.
Oh, people get murdered in state parks all the time.
I know, and
ones.
that's where my mind started going. Like, oh, there was that group of brownies, those girls that got murdered in like the 70s. My mind went there. I'm like, fuck, it's just me and my wife. I don't have a weapon.
No.
I don't have a goddamn weapon. I don't have a weapon. So, and
Did you have anything
Nothing.
to defend yourself?
A knife. That's it. But my whole, I'm overthinking it. And we started having a good time, like drinking beers and doing other things, and because there's no one there. But I just kept hearing things behind my back, and anytime we saw, like, we would see like headlights go up and then go around. I'm like, who is that? I'm like, you know what? It's probably just teenagers trying to find a place to get a hand job, and more than likely,
or just the park ranger too.
No, because this was like a car. Park ranger was another thing. So when you think of a park ranger, you think of a person like in a brown, like a uniform.
Yeah.
They drive a truck. Or a Jeep.
The person that came to when we were putting the tent up when it was daylight, this was a person I can only say was a haggard-ass Ernest.
Okay.
He looked like Ernest P. Worrell, but just super haggard. And he just rolls his window down, and I go up, I'm like, hey, I know it's after hours. Can we just pay for our thing tomorrow? He's like, just you two? I'm like, yeah, we're just celebrating our honeymoon. Just want to do a camping. All right. Yeah, you can pay at the office tomorrow. and then drives off. I'm like, fuck!
That sounds like the beginning of a horror movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where my mind kept
Yeah.
going, like, that guy's going to come back and kill us. He's part of this weird thing where he killed he killed the ranger, took their truck.
And maybe wearing a skin suit. Who knows?
Oh, it was creepy. We survived, obviously.
There's clearly not enough time to make a skin suit. Robbie.
So I'm trying to stay up as long as possible, so like I'm aware of my surroundings. The fire dies down. We run out of wood. We get in the tent, and we're like gonna go to sleep. I did not sleep a fucking wink because you're laying in that tent, and all you can hear. I don't know if you've slept in a tent before.
Yeah,
You
a lot.
hear everything around you.
dude.
So the whole time I'm like, what was that? Is that a person? I see a shadow. Is that a fucking person coming to fucking murder me? And when I woke up the next day, when I woke up alive, I kind of chuckled to myself like, I'm thankful for the fear. Because I haven't felt that in a long time. A real true fear.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the thing. If you haven't felt that in a long time, when you do experience it, when it comes back around, it's like almost in an odd way refreshing.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I still know how to feel that way. And I
Yeah.
still know how to feel after the fact.
Sure.
And like not be that way anymore.
Well, it centers you to like, because we live a really comfortable, acclimated life to like being around things and like having food and water and shit, or just safety kind of, in a way around you. And when you put yourself in a situation where you are vulnerable as fuck to the elements, because not only was I thinking about a murder, my mind went to the more realistic thing of like, what if there are fucking bears?
Yeah.
Wolves, dude.
Wolves.
Huskies.
The next night we were at a different camp place and we just heard the whole night just fucking coyotes just howling, and it was getting closer and closer. I'm like, we should probably get in the tent.
You're like, Diana, get in the tent. They're circling. They're circling.
Oh my god! It's like we are so lucky that all we have. We live in these houses with fortified walls. Like, man, it's crazy. And I was in Oklahoma. I was an hour and a half away from the city, and you get to feel that fear. I don't know. It's good. It felt good after the fact. When you come out unscathed, it's great.
Right. Because then you have a story to tell.
Yeah, but if I was murdered, I wouldn't be able to tell that story.
I kind of have not, it's similar in a way, but when I was on tour, we were in Ottawa, and we needed a place to stay. Someone in our bands found, started talking to this guy, and they were like, yeah, they said that we can crash at their place, like he's cool, and everyone was like, okay, cool, like, if they're cool, then yeah, sure, let's do it. So he hops in the van with us, Anthem Brewing, and I immediately know this dude is not cool. He was just drunk, and they were drunk, and then they talked, and that was it.
So no one knew this person.
Not at all. We
Okay.
met him that day.
Oh, I
that
hate
night.
those situations when you don't realize it till like you're already in it.
Yeah, he was in our van and started talking. I was like, I do not trust or like this person. Fuck. And we're going to go to this guy's apartment, and we'll say that his name is Chad. His friend's name is also Chad, to keep it confusing, because that's how it was in real life. Both dudes' names were Chad.
Okay.
And we get to the apartment, which is on the 3rd floor of this building.
Sketchy building.
Kinda.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't like it. Narrow hallways, like, I don't know.
You got a bad vibe.
Okay. Immediately. And so one of the guys, so when I was on tour, it was me and 2 other guys and then 3 girls. So, 6 of us, blah, blah, blah. One of the guys stayed in the van because we didn't know the area really. So he slept in the van to make sure, like, if anyone was going to fuck with our stuff, he would be there.
I would be frightened to sleep in a van.
He liked doing it.
Full
Yeah.
of gear?
Yeah.
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 I don't know.
So, there was a tarp. We had a tarp that covered up all of the gear, and then where all of our personal stuff was right next to the gear, that's where he would sleep.
Okay.
So we have to go get something out of the van, and I immediately regretted the decision of me and the other guy going out to go grab the stuff. And as soon as we both walked out, I was just like, we just left 3 girls in an apartment with someone we don't know, and the door locks behind us. Like, we have to call him to come let us in.
Oh.
And so I call one of the girls, and I'm just like, hey, don't hang up.
Stay on the line.
Just stay on the line. And she's like, okay. Like, she doesn't, I guess she's not really like picking up the weird vibes that me and my buddy are. Because immediately he and I were just like, that was a mistake. We can't do anything like that ever again. And we're going to take shifts sleeping. He hadn't done anything to be like, to warrant my like animosity towards him.
Right.
I just don't trust men with women, like, and then
especially
my
like dudes who put
dumbass
off
did
a
this.
creepy vibe.
Yeah. And so like the whole night, like after like we were let back in and everything, I just was like, he offered me, offered us all drinks. I didn't take any drinks. He offered us food. I didn't take any food. And I was talking to the girls and I was like, hey, just so you guys know, like, you're good to go to sleep because Anthony and I are going to take shifts sleeping. So eventually, like, he passes out and his friend who was with him is like 6'5", probably weighs like 250. Like, he's a big ass dude, and he didn't use the elevator to get into the apartment. He scaled a 3-story tall building to get into the apartment. It was crazy. I didn't understand it. So they get in like this weird argument, and I think that they're gonna fight because they're like really arguing and like poking each other and shit. And I was like, what the fuck? Eventually he leaves. So either way, I fall asleep with pants on, a knife in my pocket,
Ready to go.
ready to just like, if I have to stab a dude, I'm gonna have to do it in his house in Canada. So eventually, like, I pass out at like 6:45 in the morning for about 15 minutes before this thing hits. It's like something metal hits me square in the face, and I raise up, like, get up, put my glasses on, and flick this knife out all in like a second. And I'm just like in my mind, I'm like, fuck, this sucks, but
Here we go.
yeah. And then something else falls and hits me in the back of the head, and it's like not nearly as hard. And I was like, what the fuck was that? Because I'm looking and I can't see somebody, but in my head I'm just like, you just woke up, there still actually might be somebody there. And then a bicycle falls next to me too, because I'm sleeping here, one of the girls is sleeping here, and the bicycle's like, we're sleeping foot to foot for people listening because it's a podcast. And then the bicycle's next to us, and it falls over too. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I forget that he has a cat. And my head was up against a bookshelf. This cat had climbed up there and knocked this tin full of change onto my face.
Like direct hit.
Direct,
right? Yeah.
like
Just ping,
right
ping.
in between, like at an angle in between my eyes and on the bridge of my nose. And then the second thing that hit me was a 12-inch Jason Voorhees doll.
Well,
And-
see, that's creepy. To wake up to something like that, too.
Yeah.
But like, man, it
A
was
tiny version of what can happen to you.
Yeah, it was so funny because I was just like so ready to have to stab a dude.
So what happened the next day? Was he cool after that?
He was still just like weird, but he like scooted out pretty quick, and I was just like, look, can we go?
But it's like you said, like, so it's your brain kind of over analyzing it,
Yeah,
but it's putting you in defense mode, like
Yeah.
save yourself mode.
Yeah, I was just like I couldn't allow anything to happen to like any of the girls that we were with.
Right.
So I was just like, I was like super on defense like the entire time. But
Yeah.
it was a scary time, but it was fun. I mean, like,
That sounds very frightening.
Well, no, because
It was
that's
scary.
like,
Did you
real
swing
life.
this knife? Is my main question.
No, I flicked it out and I held it behind me just in case, so they couldn't see it because it was dark. And I was just like, maybe they don't see this knife. I'm gonna hold it like to my side because I was like covered in blankets. So I was like, I'm gonna keep it back here just in case they just like hit me in the face with something and don't see that I have a knife and I can just reach up and stab
element
them
of
in the groin.
surprise.
Stealth.
Yeah,
Like it.
Classic stealth move.
Yeah.
Classic classic rogue move.
Right.
if you will.
Exactly. But
Well, we got to wrap up soon. Dylan, glad to have you back, man.
it's glad to be. It's glad to be back.
It's glad to
It
be here,
is
me
me.
back. Yes. Real quick though, before we end, we ask a question every Sunday on our Instagram account, and this last Sunday we asked, "What was your first VHS? Not the family VHS, not your parents' VHS, but what was your first VHS?" Last week we had Sean Peel of VHS and Chill. Great guest, great time. Brought us a VHS. We got our first boys VHS.
So lovely.
But we had a couple of replies, so I just want to read those real quick. First of all, from Brittany Dalton, at Brittany Dalton on Instagram, she said, "A goofy movie. Wore it out watching it so much that my parents had to get another to replace it. Didn't realize as a kid how much that movie would hit me in the feels as I got older." I've never seen a Goofy movie.
It's really
See,
good.
I saw that comment and I was like, what feels? I mean, I guess I remember it differently. All I remember from Goofy movie is Pauly Shore's A Leaning Tower of Cheese.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
That's
Well, there
all I
was, like-
remember.
I remember that from the preview.
It was the feels would be, Goofy's son moves away to go to college, and there's that huge rift between him and his dad. It's real sad.
So there are feels to be hit
there are
in.
feels for sure.
Cool. And then we got Fernet Bronco. Sorry, Lucas. We had a bunch growing up, but the first I think I spent my own money on was Lucio Fulci's gore classic, The Gates of Hell, when I was like 14 and way too young to be buying that shit.
Can I say that's a classic Lucas right there.
It is.
Yeah, I think it was this classic horror film that I never fucking heard of.
Yeah,
like mine
totally.
was. What did I say? Mine was fucking Three Ninjas.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, Three Ninjas. Actually, mine was a 1922 silent film that was French. It was kind of a take on the noir classic.
Hey, he knows his VHS.
he does know
man.
his VHS. I love the guy.
And then last but not least, we have at Jim Eubank 16.
Yeah, it's my grandpa. I saw that. I was like, oh my God.
Dude, I'm going to make your grandpa an honorary boy right now.
Yeah.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
And when I read that, I am a Christmas boy. I'm ready to get this Halloween shit over with and get to the real meat
you're
of the
frightened
year.
as fuck.
I am. But when I read It's a Wonderful Life, I was like,
Yeah.
damn, that's
Yeah.
pretty sweet.
It's my grandpa.
You know what? I never thought about it until you just put it that way. It's the 3 months with 3 holidays, back to back.
Yeah,
but
dude.
it starts with fear and ends with happiness.
Well, you get scared.
Yeah.
Then you get real hungry. And then you get real thankful for the food. And then you get the presents, man.
And then you get
to
drunk as fuck on New Year's, bro.
I was going to say,
Start
then
it
you
all
get to
over again,
start
yeah.
it all over.
It's so crazy.
Just like we will do next week when we return with a brand new episode of Boys.
Happy Halloween. Bye.